coming from the West, there's quite an individualistic mindset. It's kind of me and them. Whereas in Cambodia, it feels like there's more of a sense of community, more of a sense of family. Whether you're with a group of friends or just meeting people for the first time, there's a real sense of connectiveness. People look out for each other and are very aware of how when we do something, it doesn't just affect us, it affects everyone around us.
From Ireland to Cambodia, a woman decided to call Cambodia a second home, become an English teacher, and as well as make contents related to her living experience here, as well as the tourism sites in Cambodia as well. So in front of me is teacher Rachael. Thanks for joining with Cambodianess as one of the speakers for the Gem of SIEM REAP talk show. And I really want to know about you, like your experience living here, the reasons why you decide to live in Cambodia. So first of all, could you please introduce about yourself and what reasons that prompted you to decide to choose Cambodia as your second home beyond Ireland?
Sure, yeah. So my name is Rachael and I am originally from Ireland. I grew up in Ireland, and then just after COVID, I moved to the UK. I was working in the engineering industry in the UK, like a corporate 9-to-5 job. And I think after COVID, with such a change in the world and so many shifts in the world, I just felt like I wanted something different for myself. I kept thinking to myself, there has to be more to life than this 9-to-5 corporate job, One day I was listening to a podcast. I was on the train, it was raining, I was on the way to my normal job. And this podcast was interviewing people who had become English language teachers and were living abroad and working as teachers. And there was this guy on the podcast, and he was living in Cambodia. He was in his 50s, I think. He had lived in England his whole life, but had decided to move to Cambodia and become an English language teacher. And the way he spoke about Cambodia and about the Khmer people, like, I'm just sitting on this train, it's pouring rain, and I'm just feeling so inspired how well he spoke about Cambodia. And it just sparked something inside me that day where I just said to myself, I need to go there. Just something said to me, I need to go there. And I just trusted my gut. And that was like April time. And by June, I had sold everything I owned. I'd quit my job and had done a course in teaching English as a foreign language. And then I made my journey to Cambodia. So I first came here in January 2024. I lived here for 6 months, worked as an English language teacher. And in that short time here, I realized this is where I want to live full time. Like, this is where I want to be for a lot longer than just 6 months. So I had a little bit of a travel bug still in me, and I decided to leave. I went traveling for a year. I went back home to visit my family, and I got back here. It'll be 1 year at the end of this month that I got back, that I've been living in SIEM REAP, and I'll probably be here for a long time, I think.
Yeah, thank you. But why SIEM REAP specifically? Why SIEM REAP?
So when I was coming to Cambodia, I was originally planning to live in Phnom Penh because people told me, it's easier to get a job there as a teacher, the pay is better, there's a lot more to do. And when I arrived in Phnom Penh, it was great, it was fun. Like, Phnom Penh is amazing, but it just wasn't the vibe that I was looking for. It wasn't what I had in mind for the life I wanted to live. I had just come from India training to be a yoga teacher, and I was really starting to appreciate a more peaceful and calm life. And I actually met up with the man that was interviewed on the podcast. I had reached out to him. So I met up with him in Phnom Penh, and he was like, how are you feeling? And I just said, I don't know if I want to live here. What have I done? I've just moved here from Ireland, I've sold everything. And he told me, in meeting you, I think SIEM REAP is your vibe. He was like, go to SIEM REAP, see how you feel. And then as soon as I got here, I was like, okay, this is it. Like, this feels like home,
So when you first got here, what was your impressions? Like the environment, the green landscape, or the temples, or anything else?
Yeah, it was all of it. Firstly, it was just the energy. I'm a very energy person. I practice yoga, I practice meditation. So the vibe and the energy of a place is very important to me. So first of all, it was just the kind of chill, relaxed energy. The people just seemed less busy and, you know, really friendly, and they took the time out of their day to talk to you and get to know you. Then obviously the temples. The first day I arrived in SIEM REAP, we went to Angkor Wat and I was blown away. I went there and meditated and spoke with people and spoke with the locals, and it felt like I had traveled to so many countries, but it just felt so different to anywhere else I had ever been. That was when I started to think, even just the first few days, that's when I started to think to myself, I don't think this is just going to be a few months. I think this is going to be my home for a long time, you know.
But what do you think about the food? Because right now we are at one of restaurant in Siri, called My Dear Restaurant. And have you tasted like the local cuisine, or do you like it?
Yeah, I love it. I mostly only eat Khmer food now. Actually, when I first moved to Cambodia, I was a vegetarian because I was practicing yoga in India and learning a lot about yoga. And, you know, as part of yoga, sometimes they don't eat meat, you know, it's part of the practice. But when I lived here for a while, I started to realize if I really wanted to appreciate the culture and really experience Cambodia, I need to eat baisak mon, I need to eat baisak churuk, I need to eat fish amok. So that's when I started to really explore the different dishes and different cuisines of Cambodia, and now I love it. I'm such a changed person because I never thought I would wake up and eat rice for breakfast, but now I do it every day, you know. And so I absolutely love the food. I love eating out. I'm trying to learn to cook Khmer food more because obviously the ingredients for Khmer dishes are more readily available. So I'm now trying to learn to not just eat out in these beautiful restaurants, but also learn to cook Khmer dishes, you know. I just got my Angkor pass. So because I lived here for 6 months before and now I've been here a year, but because I've paid for my full visa, even though I haven't been here 2 years yet, I have 2 years worth of visas, which means that I can get the Angkor pass, which is amazing. When I first came here, I actually paid for the 6-month pass because I just wanted to go to the temples every day. Sometimes I go there, for example, when we dress in the Khmer dress, we go for photo shoots, I go like bring friends there that are visiting, but also sometimes I just like to go for sunrise, go to Bakain, watch the sunrise on my own, go to meditate. So I had the temple pass at first, but now just this month I just got the free pass for the year, which is amazing because I can just go whenever I want, whenever I feel like it, and it's just so close to town here, you know. So.
But do you think that visiting temples like make your soul calm? Because you might have heard already the term, the slogan, when life hurts, SIEM REAP heals. Do you agree with it?
Yeah, 100%, for real. Again, like I'm such a big energy person, and the energy at Angkor Wat, even people I think who aren't into yoga and meditation and don't really think about things energetically and think about the energy of a place, you even hear those people saying, wow, the energy here is amazing, you know. I went, like one of my favorite temples is Bong Milia, and I went there recently, and there's just something about how it's so like still in time, like everything's just like frozen in time, the way it's fallen and the way it's collapsed, and it's just so beautiful. And I always feel when I leave those places, even if I've planned to go out somewhere that evening or go out for dinner, when I leave those temples, I just want to go home and just relax. It brings this kind of calmness to the soul, I feel like. For me, I love the sun. I love the hot weather. And my Khmer friends are like, you're crazy, like it's too hot, I want the rain. In Ireland, it rains more than 350 days a year. It rains all the time. So one of the big things that attracted me to Southeast Asia and Cambodia was the sun. And when I came here, I was so excited for the hot weather and sun and swimming. But I think also when you're living here for a long time, you start to appreciate the rain as well. And at first I was dreading the rainy season coming, but when it arrived, it feels like a nice break, you know. It's like breaks the heat in the air. And something I used to always hear was like dry season and rainy season. And now there's more of a focus on green season. It's not rainy season because, first of all, when you aren't from here, and you hear about rainy season, you imagine it's going to rain all day, every day, right? But it doesn't. It might rain once or twice a day. It's still sunny, it's still hot, it's still beautiful, but everything just looks amazing. Everything looks a million times better in the rainy season because it's so green, especially at the temples, places like Bong Milia. Everything's just glowing green. It's so beautiful.
You said earlier that you like the weather, you like the local food. How about Cambodian people? Because when I ask foreigners, they said that Cambodian people are friendly, they're helpful and respectful. What do you think about us?
Yeah, for sure. I agree completely. And I feel like maybe this is something that's rooted in Buddhist culture, but you know, coming from the West, there's quite an individualistic mindset. You know, it's kind of me and them. Whereas in Cambodia, it feels like there's more of a sense of community, more of a sense of family. Whether you're with a group of friends or just meeting people for the first time, there's a real sense of connectiveness. People look out for each other and are very aware of how when we do something, it doesn't just affect us, it affects everyone around us. Whereas I feel like we don't really have that in the West. So that I think contributes to the way that Khmer people treat each other and treat us as foreigners. I also think it's quite important to highlight that Khmer people treat foreigners amazingly. Like, we're treated with so much respect. I also feel like for me, because I'm a content creator and a lot of the time people know who I am, they treat me very well. You know, they treat me with respect. And I recently made a video just this week about, you know, sometimes I will go out with my Khmer friends and maybe I notice that they might be treated differently because they're not a foreigner or because they're not a content creator. That maybe I'm getting, hello Bong, enjoy your food Bong, here you go. But then maybe I see them, you know, overly treating me well and then maybe not treating Khmer people as well who are with me. So I do feel like it's important to highlight that I understand my privilege as a foreigner, that yes, Khmer people are amazing, are wonderful and are so friendly, but also I have the privilege of being a foreigner, and a lot of the time I might be seen as a tourist. They might not know that I live here and I get treated extra special and extra well, which can be a good thing but also sometimes a bad thing, you know.
But at first, do you expect to get many friends like this? And do you think that friendship even make like your life easier here and like make it like a second home for you?
For sure. When I first moved here, I was a little bit more introverted. The first 6 months I was here, I was working a lot more. I worked a lot more hours and I kind of just kept to myself. The only friends I had were the teachers in the school, and they were only foreigners. I didn't have a lot of Khmer friends. I didn't study Khmer. I couldn't speak Khmer. I didn't really eat a lot of Khmer food. And then when I came back to Cambodia a year later, I decided, okay, I'm going to fully immerse myself in this. If I'm going to be here long term, I'm not just going to hide in my house and only speak to foreign friends and only go to Western restaurants. I want to really experience Cambodia. And that's when I just started accumulate so many amazing friends, both Khmer and foreigners. You know, there's a lot of amazing expats here, and Cambodia attracts sometimes not so good people, you know, expats and people that come here that maybe aren't the best people, maybe don't have Cambodian people's interests at heart. But majority of the expats and foreigners that live here are amazing. So not just Khmer friends, but also foreign friends. There's a really amazing yoga community here. And yeah, it's changed my life. I recently just had my birthday party just last week, and I invited all of my friends. And I think it's like the first time in my life I've had a birthday party where I felt like I had enough friends to invite and so many people to come. And I think that attests to, you know, the warmness and the welcomeness of Khmer people. And I tend to talk a lot, so it's quite easy for me to make friends. I just go out and talk to everyone, and I'm having a birthday party and there's my Khmer teacher and my gym coach and my nail lady and my estate agent are all here celebrating my birthday with me. So yeah, it's amazing. So for me, I feel that if anyone decides to live in a country long term and that country has a different language to their own, I think it's quite respectful to the local people and respectful to the culture to try to learn that language. it makes my life easier to speak the language. I can go to the doctor and explain better how I feel. I can go to the market and explain exactly what I want. But it also shows, like when I go out and I speak Khmer to Khmer people, I can see the love and appreciation in their faces when I speak Khmer, you know, and a lot of the time they're really surprised, and it makes me sad sometimes how surprised they are. I feel like it shouldn't be this shocking that someone who lives here is speaking the language. And I understand like learning a language is not accessible for a lot of people and it's not easy for a lot of people, but for me, you know, yes, I'm fully studying Khmer and I'm studying it quite deeply, but even just learning a few words in the language I think is quite important. So I study with Kampuchean. My Khmer teacher's name is Khmer. I've been studying for about 8 months now. We just study like 3 hours a week. I'm learning to read and write and speak Khmer. But also I, you know, practice a lot with my friends. I'm not just learning Khmer in the lessons. I'm practicing with my friends, speaking with the tuk-tuk driver, going to the pasar, like in the market, like speaking with the sellers also. So a big thing I think about learning Khmer and what makes it easier is trying to get over that fear of making mistakes and being wrong. And I think also making content about learning Khmer has helped me a lot. And that's actually why I started making content. I wanted a way to hold myself accountable, to keep learning and keep practicing. And every time I post a video about learning Khmer or speaking Khmer, every comment, thank you so much for learning our language. Oh my God, you speak Khmer so well. Like, people are so encouraging, and that makes it a lot easier too.
So besides posting contents about learning Khmer language, the process, the difficulties, and the good points of it, what the contents that you do more often, like the travel contents or anything else?
Yeah, so I post, it's quite a mixed, my channel is very mixed, the videos I post. I post a lot about learning Khmer, studying Khmer, just going out speaking Khmer with Khmer people. I also am very privileged that I can travel around Cambodia a lot. I mean, I've visited parts of Cambodia that a lot of my friends have never even got to visit, you know, and I like to acknowledge that I am quite privileged that I can visit those places and explore those places. So I like to show different parts of Cambodia, not just to foreigners to encourage them to come and visit, but also showing Khmer people maybe parts of Cambodia that they haven't got to see. So yeah, like travel content, just like trying new Khmer foods, reading Khmer also, like I'll go in and like read a menu, post a video about reading menus. I also have started, and I'm trying to do more, is posting videos about teaching English. So like tips on teaching English, because when I'm speaking English with Khmer people, I notice the common mistakes. And because I'm learning Khmer, it's also easier for me to know why those common mistakes are the way they are. So I'm trying to use my profile also to like teach Khmer and to give tips on learning Khmer, or learning English, sorry, to teach English from the perspective of someone who speaks a lot with Khmer people and is also studying Khmer.
But do you expect that you get many fans on Facebook, on
No.
other social medias, like at first, because you come here just like to live and then you decided to create contents like this? But how do you feel like to get many supports from the like Cambodian people?
Yeah, I appreciate it so much. Like, I'm just every day I'm so grateful. I never expected to have so many followers so fast, and I feel like it comes down to just being yourself. And I feel like it took me a long time to be comfortable with really being who I am and being myself and showing my real self online. And I think anyone that's doing that is going to automatically attract people that can connect with them in like a really deep way. And I feel like a lot of my followers, you know, I get comments from random people, but a lot of my followers, it's the same people that I see commenting, it's the same support. And then when I go out, they come to me and they say, oh my God, Teacher Rachael, and like come in and meeting me and being so respectful and so nice. And it's overwhelming sometimes, and sometimes it feels weird where people know your name and know who you are. But I just appreciate it so much, and it's so much fun, you know, and I'm so glad, you know, I can help people maybe in a way, whether it's learning English or inspiring people to learn Khmer or inspiring people to come to Cambodia. So yeah, it's amazing. Overwhelming, but it's good. So apart from Siem Reap is obviously my favorite because it's my home. But I have been to Koh Rong. I love Koh Rong. I love the sea. When I grew up in Ireland, I lived quite close to the sea. So being near the sea, again, the energy of just being near the ocean for me, I love. So I really like Koh Rong. Yeah, so as well as the islands, I love Koh Han. I got to visit Koh Han and I went on a camping trip there. And it was just a whole other side to Cambodia, you know, the river and nature and like the watermelon farms and everything there. I really, really love. I also recently visited Kampot. I loved Kampot. I just feel like every different part of Cambodia, you feel like you're almost in a different country because there's so many different vibes and it's amazing, you know. But yeah, for me, Siem Reap is number one for sure.
Yeah, actually moving to the new country you want, you might face culture shock, different people, different background. But one day, have you felt like you got homesick?
I do. I don't get as homesick as I thought I would. When I left my country, I was really scared because it's so far. I was scared, like, what if I wake up someday and I'm like, I need to go home? But I've never really got that feeling. There's been times, especially, of course, when there's like a death at home or an event or something that I'm not able to travel home for. I feel like that's when I get the most homesick. You know, my little brother's birthday or, you know, my sister's prom or, you know, things where I would like to be home for is when I get the most homesick. But I feel like because I've made such a home here in Siem Reap and I have so many amazing friends, I don't get long-term homesickness where I really feel like, okay, I need to leave, I need to go home. You know, I feel very much at home here in Siem Reap. So.
But speaking a perspective as a foreigner, do you think that the province and the country is safe? You might have heard already last year, like many contents like from abroad, there are comments that Cambodia is not safe to visit. What do you think about it? And do you also want your like foreigners friends to join you and come to visit Cambodia? Or maybe one day decide to live here?
Yeah, for me, I've always felt safe in Cambodia. Of course, there was a time on social media where there was a lot of fake news, a lot of scaremongering, a lot of, you know, Cambodia is not safe. And when you live here and you're experiencing that it's safe, you feel safe, but then you're reading all these things online that you don't know if they're true or not true, you do get scared. You do get those short moments of, what if I'm not safe, you know? But luckily, I have a lot of good Khmer friends who are really intelligent and really knowledgeable about this stuff and know a lot about these conflicts that I don't know about and politics that I don't know about, that were able to put my mind at ease and, you know, make me feel safe in those short times that I didn't feel safe. In general, I've never felt unsafe. I feel more safe here than I have even in my own home country, sometimes parts of my own country. You know, I feel like in every country there's areas or there's moments where you don't feel safe. But for me, it never crosses my mind that it wouldn't be safe here, you know. Because I went home at one stage and I experienced what it's like to be at home and look back at living in South Asia, especially Cambodia. What I'll miss is just the mindset of the people. Again, what I talked about before, this feeling of community and love and kindness. I think in the West, sometimes everyone is just keeping to themselves and worrying about their own lives, and there's not that connectedness feeling, you know. So I'll definitely miss that. I know when I left for a year, I missed the food so much. Like, I really missed the food. And just being able to have access to the temples, being so close and being such a huge part of living in Cambodia. You know, every country and every city has their tourist spots. But I feel like once you go there, you see it and then that's it. You're like, okay, I've seen it now, I don't need to go back. Whereas with the temples, I feel like you always want to go back. You always want to continue to experience that energy. And I definitely think that's something I would miss so much if I left, you know. But yeah, of course, my students, I would miss my students so much. It's coming towards the end of the year now, so they're already going to be moving up to the next grade. And I'm already thinking about missing them so much, you know. When I moved here, so the podcast that I listened to, this guy was specifically talking about teaching English in Cambodia. I think a lot of people, and I guess I did at one stage, see teaching English as an easy way out. It's an easy way to travel. And oh, it's easy, I speak English, so it's going to be easy. And I admit, I at one point felt like that too. You know, I can just do this course, I already speak the language, it's going to be easy. But it's not easy. It's amazing. It's the most rewarding job, but it's not easy. And the education of the Khmer people and education of Khmer children is just as important as the education of children in the West, you know. And I think some people will come here and maybe treat it as not as important, or that it's, you know, just an easy way to get a visa and to make money while you're living here. But I think once you experience it and you really start to learn more about yourself and more about this job, you know, it really changes your opinion of that. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe my final question to you, like maybe I touch upon a bit about your short-term plan. Do you think about it, or you will, or what contents that you're gonna publish more, focus more?
Yeah, I really, now that I've started to build a community, I want to, I don't think I'll ever go fully serious on my content. I know the world needs funny people, the world needs like fun and not too serious, but I really want to use my platform to firstly inspire people to experience Cambodia, to come here, to travel here, but I also would like to lean more into the teaching English. I would love to maybe eventually open my own English speaking classes and, you know, use my community to teach English in a different way. You know, I feel like I've worked in a few schools and I've experienced different ways of teaching English, and I feel like sometimes it's missing that casual chatting in Khmer. It's like I know a lot of Khmer students, they can speak English very well, but they're quite shy and they're quite shy to speak English. So I really want to try and start to teach confidence as well, confidence in teaching English. So it's something I've been thinking about. Maybe I will sway my content in that direction, use it more towards helping people to learn English. But I'll also continue to post my funny videos and silly videos as well.
Yes, I like the fact that when foreigners come here, they not only find the country safe, but they have made many connections with our people as well. So thank you very much, and I hope to see more contents about the teaching, your learning Khmer process, and as well as the tourism contents. And thank you very much.
Thank you.